UFC
All right.
253. That's what we're here for.
We lost an American hero yesterday, Kyle. An
Ruth
American
Bader
patriot.
Ginsburg?
Worse. I am beyond struck with sadness. I don't really know how to compose myself anymore after losing such a vibrant soul. I'm kind of lost. I'm not gonna lie. I don't have a purpose anymore. Paulo Costa got murdered by Israel Adesanya, and I'm not taking it well. I love that man. Now, all seriousness though, I did I was very shocked by that main event. I totally thought that Paulo Costa was going to be way more aggressive than someone like Yoel Romero, given that Paulo Costa criticized Yoel Romero's performance so much. And
Mm-hmm.
then, I mean, if you look at Paulo in every other fight, he's always moving in, being aggressive and whatnot. But I think when he got in there, he just kind of didn't know how to put the pieces together because, I mean, Israel is just. He's not the easiest guy to move with, and I think you could see a definitive moment in the fight where Paulo is just like, "Oh, this is why. Oop. This is why no one is able to walk down Izzy." Like, you know what I mean? And
Matthew,
it was strange.
call me Mystic Mac because I predict these things. Did I not? Did I not
Oh,
predict
you
this fight?
predicted it,
I called it. I
Kyle.
ain't
You
surprised, motherfucker.
you knew. You almost had the round too. You were one
Yeah,
round
I
off.
was
You
I
were
was
so
close.
close to greatness, but
Yeah, I said
you
round
couldn't make it
3.
land.
He finished
Yeah.
it a round earlier than I anticipated.
And right at the beginning of the round too.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I saw this coming, Matthew. Y'all gotta put some respect on Izzy's name because here's the thing. I'm gonna make a declaration for you real quick. All right, a caffeinated combat declaration. All right.
Let's hear it.
Israel Adesanya is the greatest talent we have seen since John Jones or Anderson Silva. He is the best middleweight, and the only person that comes close is Anderson Silva. In terms of pound for pound greatest talent we have seen in recent memory, I think there were 3 distinct eras, or no, there was more than that. There was the Anderson and GSP eras, then there was the John Jones eras. Now I think we are in the Israel Adesanya era. That's
I would
my
kind of agree with you.
declaration, Matthew.
This was his 100th win in combat sports, and I
Mm-hmm.
believe that that's professional wins. I This man's resume is just far greater than anyone else in the sport right now, and I am shook by just he makes it look easy.
The only
And
person that comes close to his greatness right now is John Jones, who I think is kind of towards the later half of his career and not nearly as active. Um, and then Habib.
mhm. But
Habib
it's kind of
is
different with Khabib because when you wrestle in MMA, it's a lot safer than something like striking with opponents and standing up. Because things happen in striking. You watched Israel get knocked out
yeah.
before striking. You don't really get knocked out when you're wrestling someone like Khabib does. So for him to go out and have that kind of, I guess you can call it a win loss ratio, is just astounding to me. That's unnatural skill right there.
He's by far
He's
the
an
best
alien.
striker in the
Yeah,
sport by
he's an
far.
alien of the division. I mean, who comes close to him? I thought Paulo would give him a hard time given his style and how he walks down people, but you can't walk down someone like that who just knows how to get away from you so easily. Yeah, and then you just get picked apart. It's concerning. This makes you think just how good is Kelvin Gastelum, the
Yeah, I
guy
was
who
just
just
gonna
went
say the
5 rounds
same
with them,
thing.
and
Kelvin
he,
was the only
yeah,
person that gave him problems.
yeah, that was competitive. I mean, I know the fifth round was obviously Israel's, shining moment when he got the knockdown and whatnot, but damn, dude, that Calvin's. I respect Kelvin more after watching Israel just kind of dismantle what I thought were the next best middleweights, given Yoel and Paulo and Robert Whitaker too. Damn, he
Mm-hmm.
can't forget about that. That was a decisive victory as well. And that victory was even more impressive given that he was sprinting backwards away from Rob's blitz as he threw that knockout punch. This dude is something special. And I think you're right. I think he is the greatest talent right now. And I don't know who beats him. I really don't. I like what he was saying after his fight in the interview, saying Jared Cannonier. That's a great fight. I don't think Jared would get it done, but I guess that's the next best thing. Am I right? Is
Yeah,
he
I
right?
love
I don't know.
that he's he's calling Jared out, and basically not like in a like a disrespectful kind of way, but in like a, hey, if you get past Rob Whittaker, you're next in line. Like, I like that. There's no room for speculation now, or oh, what's next for Israel Adesanya? Like, we know what's next. Like, that's what he's gonna do. And if Cannonier loses to Whittaker, I would think Israel would be open to the Whittaker rematch then too,
I don't see
especially
where else
after
to
the
bring it. Yeah.
performance he had against Till.
Oh, I know Till was tweeting that he would like to fight Israel. I think that would be fun. I don't think he would get it done, but I think that would be fun. I think Till said if he gets a few more wins, that he would like a shot,
I
and
think
I
they'll
think that's
fight
fair.
eventually.
Yeah, that marketing. Oh, that's perfect for marketing. Two dynamic strikers like that.
Hmm.
Oh, oh,
He has to rack up more wins
yeah.
because
I mean, he just got to middleweight. Can't
yeah.
forget that. He just opened up the door a few months ago,
Who has he
right?
fought at middleweight thus far? Kelvin and Rob?
Yeah, successful in both.
No,
I
no.
don't know if you consider Robert a success, but he was pretty damn
Yeah, I mean he
competitive with him.
lost, but yeah, he
Yeah,
looked good, and he beat Kelvin, correct?
yeah.
Okay.
That was a fight I thought he wouldn't win because Kelvin is really good at getting in on the long boys and hitting them on the button. But he did well. He fought like Israel, honestly, just at a little bit of a lower level because I don't think he has the speed that Israel has. I texted you in the middle of the fight the one question mark kick he threw. I didn't even see it, and my brain couldn't register it
It
until
was
he was
so
already
fast.
it was already on the ground. What?
It was so
What is he
fast.
on? Is he snorting cocaine before every single fight? This dude he's a monster. I'm amazed at his performance.
Yeah, it's the best striking in the sport by far. The way he maintains range and distance using his kicks, it's very John Jones-esque. The way he chops at the legs and just uses kicks to keep the opponent from rushing in. The footwork, moving backwards around the octagon, moving laterally. I think he made a great point in the post-fight press conference too. He's like, these guys say like I run and stuff like that. Do you want me to just stand there and let you hit me? Like what? Like you realize like he's trying to not get hit by you. So Paulo Costa, Yoel Romero, why would he just go and stand in front of you like a brick wall and just be a punching bag? Like that's not what he's gonna do. Like it's not running. It's using movements. It's using footwork. It's being defensive. Um, and he does it just spectacularly. I mean, the people that are just they hate on him and I understand he could be a little hard to like sometimes, but the fact of the matter is he has everything right now. Like he has everything. He has an exciting style. He finishes fights, with the exception of the Yoel Romero fight. He has a personality that is, interesting. He's not, a boring guy. Whether he plays the heel or he plays the hero, he knows how to market himself and his fights. He's just got it all. He really does. I mean, I don't know what else to say about him other than he has it. He has the it factor. He has everything you need. Uh, and he has had no hiccups in his career thus far. In terms of like you look at John, for example. John has had tons and tons of hiccups. the DUIs, the testing positive for PEDs, all that stuff, all the controversies and everything. Israel has had none of that. Um, so it's been a picture perfect UFC run for this guy thus far. And, it might not stay perfect the whole time, but I think by the time we say bye to Israel Adesanya, by the time he retires, by the time, he hangs it up or whatever, I think we're going to look at him as one of, if not the greatest middleweight of all time, and one of the greatest talents we've ever seen in the sport. And he has to be like top 5 strikers of all time. Like, I don't know who else you could say has his striking ability. I mean, I can't think of them.
I can't either. Like you said, I agree with that. It's just he's an anomaly, and I think that's really it. And Paulo Costa, like, you can't look at him as if he's a bad fighter either. I saw a lot of
Mm-mm.
people just saying he was a bum. Oh, he got exposed. No, this dude's a serious contender here. He's a big deal, and for him to just get shut down like that, that's huge. You
Yeah.
can't deny it.
He did not know how to engage with
No,
Israel.
he only threw one punch. I think it was a jab from like 7 meters away. He just rocketed it through his guard. But there's a few things about Costa I really didn't like. I don't know why he brought up the whole Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu belt thing at the weigh-ins and the face-offs, because I know Israel's a blue belt and he's a black belt. So I don't know why he brought up that and then threw the white belt in his face and was making fun of his BJJ if he wasn't planning on using his wrestling or BJJ. That seems kind of. I assume that was like a hint at part of the game plan was to force some wrestling and clinching and BJJ into the mix, but maybe it was and he just couldn't move in. But the one time when he did get in and get in the clinch, he seemed to kind of back off pretty quickly, and I don't know why. And the second thing was I don't understand the taunting during the fight while you're losing and not doing anything. I get like the taunting in Cody Garbrandt's fight with Dominick Cruz where you're objectively winning the fight like pretty decisively. So you're going to continue to get in your opponent's head, make them come to you, he break dances in the octagon, he gets in Dom's head, he continues winning. That's fine. But when you taunt, he taunted so many times, Kyle. All Paulo was doing was making faces, doing weird movements, like I don't even know if you'd call it dancing, but pretending to be hurt and all that stuff. And it didn't really make much sense to me. I'm assuming he was doing that to lure him in, but
Yeah.
why would that lure Israel in? It didn't work against Yoel. Why would it work against Costa? I don't understand his game plan. One being the assuming he's going to stand there and let him hit you, and the other one being the whole Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu thing. I don't know why he didn't at least try to get it to the ground, where Israel's a lot less experienced than Paulo.
I think
But that's conjecture.
I think the game plan was probably was to either go to the ground, lure him in, and then blitz him, or just rush him right out the gate. I think all of these things were the game plan, and then he got in there and he realized what an elusive target Israel is. He saw how he was moving. He saw how he wasn't biting on his feints. He saw the trickery, the setups, the traps, everything he does, and he just didn't know how to react to it. I think he just kind of froze up, because he didn't recognize what he was seeing. Like he just couldn't get a read on it, and he couldn't figure out how to impose his game plan and get inside and work and do his thing. Like he just couldn't figure it out. I think it basically comes down to that. Is he saw the movement, the footwork, the setups, and then he probably ate some shots and he froze.
I think that's a fair assessment, yeah. It was kind of the same thing with the striking. You just couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Totally neutralized. I don't know where you'd put Costa now. I would say maybe give him Robert Whittaker if Whittaker loses to Cannonier, and then that kind of sets both of them up back again to maybe meet again in the future when Costa possibly devises a better game plan. I think Costa has the ability to defeat Israel. I just don't think it's right now. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think he's the evolved fighter that he needs to be. Even though he's such a good fighter. I love him so much, Kyle. But I love Izzy too. So it's a I guess you could call it it was a pretty decent main event. I mean, really, it answered a lot of questions with Israel and just how good he was. Because for some reason, people still say he's not that great, but
Hmm.
he really is. And I think this just shows, wow, what a guy. Just a total
Yeah, I mean,
anomaly.
if you look at that fight and still think like, oh, he's just not that good, you're looking for a reason to not like him. You're not looking at it objectively, I think.
Yeah.
If you look at that fight and think like he's overrated or something, you're looking for a reason to hate on him because it's some of the most brilliant striking you'll ever see. I want to go back and watch it again. Um, you could watch his fights over and over and learn something new and see something different every time. It's a master class. Like it it's just so engaging and interesting and complex and yeah, I mean he's dominating right now. I I don't know who's gonna be the one to dethrone Israel Adesanya. I don't think we're gonna see that happen anytime soon.
Hmm. I'm looking at the rankings, and I would agree with you. It's possible, obviously, with someone like Cannonier, but likely, I don't think so.
Another person who's striking I was very surprised by was Jan Blachowicz, who is now the first light heavyweight champ that is not named John Jones or Daniel Cormier in 9.5 years. Holy shit.
Wow.
We're talking about eras ending and
Yeah.
things moving on and it's weird, man. It's weird. Like it's weird that Daniel Cormier is retired and John Jones is not light heavyweight champ anymore. It's a weird time we're living in, and second Polish champ, the other being, of course, Joanna Jędrzejczyk. I mean, Jan's kickboxing. I was shocked by it last night. How good he was doing or how good he did against Dominick Reyes, putting him down in the second towards the end of the second round. That was nuts.
I didn't expect it at all. I I wanted Jan to win, but I totally expected Reyes to come in and sweep the floor with him just based on previous fights and what we know about them. And I can't believe I was so wrong on both the co-main and the main event. It's incredible. But yeah, Jan Blachowicz. Joanna was so happy when he won. I saw
Yeah.
her posting about it, like
Hmm.
hanging out by the screen cheering for him.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see some new blood after 9.5 years. Wow, I didn't know it was that long. Dear
Here's
God.
another interesting fact for you. The only American champion right now in the UFC is Stipe.
Oh, Stipe.
He's the only one. Everyone else, it's all champions from countries other than America. The
I like
United,
that we have such a diverse like set of people. I think that's pretty
the
cool.
fucking Kiwis, man, the
The
Kiwi
Kiwis.
army rolling in, city kickboxing, just reigning supreme. I think. I know they went what was it 2 for 2 last or 2 for 4. I think they had two fighters win, two fighters lose. I think
Yeah,
was so Izzy won. Um, who was the other fighter? Brad Riddell won. Those were the
Riverdale.
two
He looked
fighters.
he looked good.
Yeah, Brad Riddell's really good. Those were the two city kickboxing fighters, and then Kai Kara France lost and Shane Young lost. Um, Shane Young got knocked out by a guy who missed weight by a pretty hefty margin. That's why Israel was so
Yeah.
passionate about weight missing in his post fight interview and press conference, and I don't necessarily disagree with him. He's not wrong. It is kind of bullshit, but yeah, just going back to light heavyweight real quick, it's so weird to think like Dominick Reyes arguably won against the greatest, possibly the greatest fighter of all time, and then gets starched by Jan Blachowicz in round two. Uh, it's wild, man. Like his combinations were devastating. Absolutely devastating. He was landing everything with that left kick. He was chewing up the body. He was striking every area, legs, body, head. Um, just another example of terrific striking combined with that insane Polish power that he talks about. Um, so yeah, the Wolfenstein protagonist fucking does it again, and then calls out
Who
John
would have known?
Jones.
I love that he called out John.
Yeah, John Jones, where
John
are
is like,
you?
he's like, oh, maybe I'll come back and take my belt back. I
Yeah,
like that fight. I do, John and Jan.
John
But
and
I
Jan.
would like to take it in another direction, given that we just escaped from that era. I feel like going back is a step in the wrong direction. I want to see heavyweight John, personally. And I want to see some of these other light heavyweights get a chance to come in and fight for the belt
Like
against
Tiago.
someone who, yeah, I was just going to say Tiago. I mean, I think that's who's going to probably hold on to the belt for quite a while if he can fix the mass amount of injuries that he receives during fights.
Tiago
I mean,
Santos.
yeah, he received every injury possible in that John Jones fight.
Yeah.
That was insane. I remember some medical guy said he tore every single ligament in his leg.
Fuck.
He's like, I've never seen this before. But other than that, I think we're gonna have a really nice triangle of Jan, Dominick Reyes, and Thiago Santos just kind of interwinding and taking the belt from each other, and I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, see where Glover Teixeira fits in too. If he runs
He looked
over
good.
Tiago Santos, who knows? That
It's
dude's having a
possible.
resurgence.
Yeah, it's
You know,
possible.
Jan is not some up and coming new talent either. Like he's not like Israel Adesanya where he's been in the like Israel has been in the UFC only a couple of years and he's just had this insane rise to power. Jan's been doing this for a bit. Or in the UFC. Israel's been doing it a long time too, but in the UFC. Jan's been in the UFC for quite a long time now and he's had a lot of ups and downs throughout his career. And like if you told me 5 years ago that this was your next light heavyweight champ, I would have been like, "What? No, you're it's he's not going to be the next light heavyweight champ. It's you got John Jones, you got Daniel Cormier, you got Rumble Johnson, like you got, that it's just so weird that we're entering into this new era, it seems like with light heavyweight, but he's been here the whole time, you know? Like
He's
he's
been
not like
lurking in the
Dominic Reyes. Like
shadows.
Dominic Reyes has not been here the whole time. Dominic Reyes is he kind of had prior to these last two fights like an Israel Adesanya rise where he was young, only been here a couple years, and was just running through people. Um, that wasn't the case with Jan. Jan has had a good last few years, but like a last year or two maybe, but I mean, prior to that, so his last loss was to Jimmy Manoa back in 2018, and then in 2019 he beats Jacare and then Luke Rockhold, and then 2020 he beats Corey Anderson and then Dom Reyes. It's like it's a weird path he took at 37 years old. You know what I mean? Like it's a
Yeah,
weird trajectory. Like he lost to Jared Cannonier back in 2017. He lost to Patrick Cummings. Uh, and then in 2018 he has one win against Nikita Krylov, one loss. Jimmy Manoa. 2019 he's on a great win streak. Loses to Thiago Santos in 2019 at the beginning of 2019. A very up and down kind of career. Um, but I mean, just comes out in 2020, a weird year all around, and then gets it done. It's strange. Like I never would have thought this guy would be the guy at the end of all of this, at the end of this giant
yeah.
era. The crazy rivalry between John and DC. John Jones' insane comeback and is just tearing through all the up and comers of the division, even through all the adversity. The controversial Dominic Reyes win. Jan Blachowicz was there the entire time, and we didn't even really notice him. Like we did, but we didn't.
Yeah, he was
Like
peeping out of the trenches, just watching,
like when I
waiting to
thought about
strike.
the next light heavyweight kings, I thought about Dom Reyes. I thought about Thiago Santos. I thought about them being the guys that could take the throne from John Jones. But then John Jones makes this unexpected step down, or step up, I suppose, to light heavyweight, steps down from the title, um, step up to the heavyweight division, and then Jan Blachowicz is there to steal the crown right out from under Dominick Reyes. It's just this really, really interesting moment in UFC history, particularly in light heavyweight history, a division that has been for a long time was heralded as the greatest division in the sport. A lot of the legends of the sport came from this division. Daniel Cormier and John Jones just being two of them, and then, the Iceman, Randy Couture. I think was he a light
Yeah,
heavyweight or was he a heavyweight? Yeah, I think he was both.
I think he was. Yeah, I was gonna
Um,
say.
it just long it for you go back in the like the affliction days, the days where everyone was wearing affliction and tap out shirts. Light heavyweight was the division. Like that was today's version of lightweight. That's where your stars were. That's where that it was just the most badass division in the sport. And then slowly that became less and less true. And now it feels like we're embarking on something new, right? It's very, very interesting.
It's a complete breath of fresh air, and I'm really
Yeah,
happy for Jan. I was rooting for him because as much as I like Reyes, come on, Jan's a classy guy. I want to see him on top for a bit. And it
I'm
might not
very
be for
happy
a
for him
while,
too.
but I think it could be. I mean, he's a dangerous dude. The Polish power, man. Wow. It's exciting to see this new window for so many new fights to happen. I mean, we like you said, who knows what someone like Glover Textera would do to him? Compared to him fighting John Jones, it's not as competitive. That's not as fun to talk about. We've got this new guy in here. There's just so much stuff going on now, and I
Hmm.
like that because after John took over and Cormier took over, like yeah, it was a fun division, but you kind of knew the ending.
It was the John Jones Daniel Cormier division.
Yeah,
It
it
was
really
the
was.
home. It was the home for the possibly the greatest rivalry in the sport. And it felt like it was that way for a long time,
Yeah,
a very long time. You had the John Jones rise to power. Um, when he stopped
or
Shogun, and
Shogun. Yeah,
and and then you had the DC rivalry, and in that you had that kind of like the intermission where he got stripped of the title, he had the PED stuff, he had the DUI stuff, the hit and run, you had all that drama happening amidst the DC rivalry. And you had the Gus fight, and the Gus fight was super close. And you had the OSP fight, and the OSP fight was super close. And then you had like the third act, and the third act was this comeback that we saw in the last few years, where he's taken on guys like Thiago and Dominick Reyes, and who else? The Gus rematch. Um,
right.
and he was just on this stampede, on this crazy run. And the question was always, oh, John, when are you going to move up to heavyweight? Oh, I don't want to move up to heavyweight. There's a lot of guys here who are here, who are a lot of light heavyweights who are in line, that I want to clean out this division for a second time. And then he kind of does that. He accomplishes that goal, and then his previous rival moves up to heavyweight and has his own great rivalry there with Stipe. And now suddenly John is interested in kind of following in those footsteps and trying his hand at it. And then light heavyweight goes back to the it goes back to your remaining guys, your Jans and your Dominicks and your Tiagos and your even Anthony Smith and Glover and all these other guys, even OSP. Um, it's it's so interesting. It's such an interesting story of this light heavyweight division, a story that has been progressing and changing for uh, a decade now, and it feels like we're in we're in a new story, like a new story. We're in the first act of something new, like the John Jones story, the John Jones Daniel Cormier story. We've concluded that. It feels like. But are we going to see the epilogue of John Jones trying to reclaim his belt? I don't know. It's interesting.
A guy like John, you'd think he would, just to be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it all depends on what the UFC offers him at heavyweight. If they give him like some I don't think he's gonna go right back to light heavyweight. Because I don't know. I wouldn't call John a money fight, but it would probably draw a lot of people in. I mean, the new champ who's not John versus the old champ. That's marketable. So as
Yeah,
much as I don't want to see that happening, it probably will if he doesn't get the money he wants at heavyweight, which
don't
is also
forget,
likely.
John is still in many people's minds. I mean, not even just him. John is basically undefeated, right? John Jones has never lost a fight.
Matt Hamill?
Okay.
That doesn't count.
The
Let's be honest.
that was more of a loss to Yamasaki than anyone else, but he's the pound for pound number one. He's considered by many the GOAT, right? Who pushed him to his absolute limits? Who really took him for everything he's worth and really tested him? Dominick Reyes, right? Jan Blachowicz just stopped that guy with seemingly ease. He did it with ease, right?
Yeah.
There's your compelling story right there. Is that I think people tune in to see John Jones lose. I think he's very much disliked in the sport for the most part, generally speaking. But he's never been beaten, and I think a lot of people tune in hoping to see him lose, and that's been seeming like a more real possibility. Every fight, the Thiago Santos, the Dominick Reyes fight, both incredibly close fights. So it's becoming a more and more closer to reality to see. He's not dominating the way he once did. And now you have Jan Blachowicz, a guy who stopped the guy that gave John Jones the hardest time in his entire career. So there's your compelling narrative right there, is that people want to see John Jones lose. Well, this is the guy if anyone's going to do it, it's this guy.
Oh man, you're getting me hyped up. I was just thinking like, oh, I want to see him go to heavyweight, but now I kind of want to see him stay at light heavyweight. Damn. So when is Dana hiring you for the marketing position? You're right though. I didn't think about it like that because of how big of a problem Reyes gave John, and Jan did not give Reyes okay, these names are confusing.
Reyes did not give Jan a problem.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good. I feel bad for Dom though.
I do too.
He comes off this arguable win against Jones and he gets the loss, and then he comes out to Jan. Everyone thinks he's gonna win because of how big of an athlete he is, and now he comes and loses. So, and I mean, he was kind of protesting the stoppage, but he had a fractured rib and a broken nose, so I don't think that was a bad stoppage at all.
Oh, his rib was fractured. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I mean, you saw those kicks, right?
Yeah,
those kicks were Polish kicks, man.
Real
they
bad.
Were Polish. He was getting his revenge.
Kickboxing was nuts, dude. It was nuts.
I did not expect that.
He didn't just go out there and throw, and like blitz him and just rush him as hard as he could and missed a million shots but landed the one that caught. No, it was not that. It was precise striking. It was super precise. Like terrific combinations, ending everything with a kick, chewing up the leg, chewing up the body, head hunting when he needed to. It was great striking.
Calculated,
it was really, really good striking. Dom didn't seem like he knew how exactly to deal with it.
He seemed very afraid of that Polish hands, that Polish hand, and I mean, you kind of got that idea. He was so gun shy, just like Paulo Costa was,
mm-hmm.
And that's what happens when you're not keeping the Polish man away. He's gonna come in. He's gonna smother you.
Yeah.
he's a just look at him. You gotta fight to keep that guy off you. Like that man looks like he could defeat anyone. He's a scary looking dude, but he's such a nice guy. You hear his
Yeah.
interview. I want to drink with my dad, hug my mom.
Yeah.
He doesn't look. He doesn't like act like he looks. He
Yeah.
looks like someone that would just flatline anybody. But no, he's a cool dude. I just don't know. I don't know the next move for Jan. I really don't.
It's if it's
So
not
many
John
good
Jones,
fights.
it is, I would say, the winner of Tiago and Glover.
When is Tiago and Glover? Is that relatively soon?
I
I
think
don't
so.
know.
They had to reschedule it a few times.
Yeah. Um. Oop. I got training gloves instead of. I guess Tiago glove. Oh wait, I typed in glove. Yeah, it was supposed to be September 12th, but Textera tested positive. It says canceled. I don't know if that means rescheduled.
Maybe
October 4th.
Okay.
So yeah, that actually works out timeline wise. I was thinking that would be like a November fight and the timelines wouldn't match up too well, but no, I think that's the way to go then. Thiago Santos. Yeah. But yeah, great work on the co-main by Jan. I wanted to mention my favorite UFC fighter of all time, Sijara Eubanks, coming in with the W again. Smash that like button if you're Sijara Eubanks' #1 fan.
I think it's Sijara. I don't think it's Sijara.
I think I would know, Kyle. I'm her biggest fan. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really care about Sijara.
Aw. What's her face looked good? Vieira? Vieira?
Yeah, her opponent looked great.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, just how bad is Sijara Eubanks?
I don't think she's bad.
Nah, she's not that bad. I think I just like the meme on her. Ever since that whole like main event thing, controversy back in the day.
Yeah.
I've loved to meme on Sijara because how she was saying she's like she should be the champion and she deserves this, and she lost like every fight ever.
Wasn't Rogan like, I have no idea who that is, and she got real offended by it?
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, you're gonna know who I am when you're interviewing me after my win." I think she did win, and then she didn't do anything to Joe when he interviewed her. Speaking of Joe, very upset to see he's not leaving the U.S. anymore to do pay-per-view cards. I don't blame him though.
He's not.
No,
like that's for sure.
Yeah, for right now at least. Very sad to not listen to Joe Rogan's commentary. Not gonna lie, it might not be the best, but I always love hearing that voice. Wouldn't you agree?
I'm fine with Felder and Anik. I thought they were great last night. I thought they were terrific. And DC, I love. I like Bisping too. I think Bisping's hilarious.
Bisping. I know.
Honestly, Dominick Cruz is probably the best commentator, but also the worst because he's such an asshole. So like, he is terrific at breaking down like grappling exchanges. Like really, really good at it. Like he's got he just sees things and does a great job at explaining them. But oh my god, he's such a prick to everybody.
Yeah.
Like whereas like Felder and Bisping and DC are all like and Anik are like all bros. Like you could tell they all, very much enjoy each other's company and have a great time and have fun and crack jokes, and they just love it. And Dom, I'm just always like, oh, why are you so like annoying to be around?
Why are you the way that you are?
Yeah, like I don't know, man. I'm sure he's a very nice guy. I'm sure they all like him very much, and I'm sure they have a great time. He has like no chemistry. He doesn't have like people skills,
No, he doesn't. He would be a very good commentator if there were no other commentators. Not saying he's bad, but he would just be better if he was like a lone wolf, because he just doesn't vibe or get along with the others. I mean, he gets along with them, but not commentary wise. The commentary doesn't match, like you were saying. No chemistry there.
Yeah, they take like different stylistic approaches. Yeah. Like all the other guys seem like they very much have fun with it. He takes it super seriously, which like isn't a bad thing. It's just the chemistry's not really there.
It's so much better than Bellator though. At
Oh my
least we
God.
have that.
On another level.
At least we have that.
Dude,
Who else would be a good
Josh
commentator?
Thompson is irritating as fuck.
Who else? Think right now. Who in the UFC that's a fighter would be a good commentator? And why is it Mackenzie Dern and Paulo Costa?
Yeah, so like my
Stipe.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu, I'm from California, but my Portuguese accent is, I don't know.
I'm gonna test that. I'm gonna go to Brazil and see how long it takes for me to start picking up on their accents.
Probably
and
like
using an accent.
half a century.
Mackenzie Dern would disagree.
Accents don't change that quickly, dude. There's no fucking
That was hella
way.
sus. That was like a month.
There's no way they changed that quickly. How long has she been like in the company of Brazilians?
Yeah,
like a few years?
Not that long. She's the imposter. I say we get her out of here. But I don't know who would be the next best. I don't. Because I kind of like what they have right now, but obviously they're gonna keep bringing fighters on that know what they're talking about, because that's just the no-brainer, you know. These people they're in the sport, they know.
I wouldn't have thought Felder would be as good as he is.
Yeah,
like he's a
surprise.
That's a surprising one. Let's see. I'm looking at the rankings right now. Who would be good? I think Usman does a decent job on the desk.
Yeah, I think Usman would be good.
Wonder Boy would do a good job, I think.
Yoel Romero.
Yoel Romero. Nate Diaz.
well, some of I forget who is the
Stipe.
Like GSP, for example, is like the French commentator, which is pretty cool.
Oh, I didn't know.
You can
that.
always have them in, yeah.
When does he do that?
A month ago on the French recordings of it, or not recording, but the French versions of the live pay-per-view.
Oh wow.
I don't think we can watch it in French here though. I've never found that option before.
I've never even seen him there, like at the events. Like I feel
he might be remote, because I know they don't take those as seriously. They don't really draw. They don't make them as, you know,
prominent. Yeah,
prominent. Yeah, I can't think of the right word for it. Yeah, but I could be wrong.
So you're saying he might do it from home?
Yeah, or he might do it from a booth somewhere nearby.
Yeah,
or
I see.
Something like that.
Especially right now.
Yeah, because think about how many people do that. There's a lot of languages out there, and pay-per-views are in a lot of countries.
Yeah.
Even though they're not technically pay-per-views in a lot of those countries, like the damn UK people that get this shit for free, except they have to watch it at 4 a.m. It's the only drawback.
Who else would be good? Oh, maybe Poirier. I think Poirier would do a good job.
Oh yeah, he would. He's got a very nice voice too.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who's good speak. Yeah, I mentioned Wonder Boy.
Oh yeah, okay, I didn't hear you. Colby Covington, imagine his biased ass commentary. That would be so funny.
So Marty Fake Newsman's actually not a good fighter.
I love him.
But Colby, he's one of the most dominant welterweights in the sport. Yeah, he's not good.
Garbage.
I'm trying to think of who's good speakers, you know?
Yeah, there's not many.
Maybe Whitaker?
I was thinking that, but I do like Robert Whitaker's voice, and he has a nice way of talking. But he's so damn Australian.
He's also very
He's got a lot of slang in his vocabulary.
He's not all that passionate, you know.
He's a little dry.
I think he's passionate about his career and his fighting and stuff, but I think when it comes to the sport as a whole, he doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that gets super excited and tunes into every pay-per-view. And you know who would be a very, very fun guy to have commentating with you? Derek Lewis.
Oh, Derek Lewis.
Derek would be so funny.
He would be so good. Oh man, I think Gaethje would be fun too, because he's always so positive and up and happy.
Gaethje's not a very good speaker though.
Nah,
he's not an intelligent speaker.
He's got a good attitude, but not the best speaker. Yeah. Ally Quinton.
Raging Al. Raging Al will be trying to sell you a house during the commercial breaks. He'll be like, so I got this property on the beach. I think it'd be great.
The IRS just comes in during the event and takes them away for more tax fraud.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. What about some women that would do
I was
a
thinking
good?
Holly Holm,
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
maybe. Probably
Uh,
not Amanda Nunes,
yeah. Her
just because of her thick accent
her
would be.
English is a
Yeah.
little dicey sometimes. Same with Valentina. Um, yeah,
Um,
I don't know. Holly Holm would probably do a pretty decent job. Who are some of the other?
Valentina. Oh, that would be fun.
Rose kind of has a lot of slang to her too. I mean, Angela's kind of does it on the. She's
I think
like in.
Angela's pretty good.
Yeah, Angela's good. She like works the booth with like Anthony Smith and Usman and those people, or Shad, I think too.
This would never happen, but how fun would someone like Conor McGregor be on the commentary?
I think he'd be fucking
Or Max
terrible.
Holloway would be fun too. Oh
Max
man.
isn't a terrific speaker though.
No,
Max
he
is
would just
kind of
have so
like,
much
it is
energy.
what it is, you know. I like
Yeah.
whatever. I want to go play some Warzone with my kid, you know. Like Max is too like
Yeah, it's true.
Max seems like he's high all the time.
Yeah, he probably is. He deserves it. They should just put on for fun the worst speakers. Get the Diaz brothers and Stipe and Yoel
Yes,
and
bro.
call it a day.
And stupid be like, yeah, so fires, firefighting.
That's what
Maybe
Stipe does during his fights. He just pretends his opponents are fires and beats the shit out of them.
maybe
Uh,
maybe Volkanovski would do a good job. Alexander
yeah,
Volkanovski.
he's very slow and nice and
I think
easy to
Megan
understand.
Anderson does some commentary stuff too.
Yeah,
The Kiwis they do a pretty decent job. I think
fucking Kiwis.
they're pretty good. I think Israel is like too much personality, you know? Like
Yeah,
Israel would be too much. Kind of like the way I think Rob would like not be enough personality. I think Israel he'd be a little overkill, you know?
I think you might have a point there.
Like he'd be a little
Dude
too
is a
much.
nutcase. Alistair over no, definitely not. JDS.
JDS.
Alexei Olenek doesn't even speak English, does he?
JDS would be like, "I'm just happy to be here." JDS is just like in a
Says that to
great
every
mood
single
all
thing
the
that
time.
happens. I love him. He's such a fit dude. He looks so good for his age. And
JDS?
for any age, yeah.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Paulo Costa looked very small when compared to Israel. I think he really messes with the angles when he takes his pictures because Israel was looking thick compared to him too. Like, you know what I mean? It was weird. He didn't look as big as he normally does. And of course that might be just the mass dehydration. But I don't know, dude. I think Israel is just deceptively large.
Yeah,
He's just got
because
weird limbs that make him look small.
yeah, he's kind of got like almost like a John Jones body. It's very
Yeah.
long and lanky, and you don't see him and think like, oh, that's a jack dude, but he kind of is. He just had, I don't know. It's hard to describe. But was there anyone else that really stuck out to you last night?
The France fight with
Oh yeah, that fight was
that was
awesome.
good.
Brandon
I don't
Royval.
really know any. I don't really know them that well, the flyweights, so I can't really say much on them. But they put on a hell of a performance. I would suggest that fight for anybody
Well, the
to go
thing
and
is,
watch.
too, is that division is so shallow that
Yeah,
Brandon Royval probably already in like top 10 contention, you know? Like I mean, who were your
he's number 9 before this fight.
oh, yeah,
France is
so
number 7, so I guarantee you they're gonna be maybe even both of them are gonna be higher on Monday or Tuesday
yeah, I
whenever they
mean
update
that
this.
division is so bare that it
Nah,
won't be
dude.
long
Cody
before
Garbrandt's gonna come and clean them out. Don't worry.
I don't think Cody Garbrandt's going to make flyweight. I'll be honest with you.
You think we're gonna have another TJ Dillashaw?
What do you mean?
It's another massive weight cut that just ruins his brain,
Yes.
makes him like an absolute
I wouldn't
water
be
bottle. He's like
surprised
an
if
empty
he
water bottle.
I wouldn't be surprised if he just doesn't make the weight.
Yeah, it's possible.
Speaking
I
of
don't.
not making weight, how about Khabib's boy last night,
Oh
Zubair?
yeah.
I'm I
Tuga?
to
This is tough. It's very difficult.
Tukaga tu fuck
Chehugov.
Tuku
Takugov. So Khabib's son.
Khabib's son missed weight by like 5 pounds, and then somebody gave him the fucking nod, one of the judges, and I was like, "You're wrong."
They gave him every round.
That's insanity.
30-27. If you think he won the third round, if he won the first two, that's fine. You know what? Fuck it. But to give him the third when he didn't even fight at all,
Madness.
that's crazy.
Madness. Hakeem Dawadu.
Like, he didn't look great at first, but he also fought every round, so.
Hakeem, you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I became a fan of him last night.
Yeah.
I thought he was really cool. I loved the way he was like screaming at him, and then that dumbass ref fucking, hey guys, no cursing. It's like, shut up, go home.
Come on. It's a pay-per-view, number one. Number two, they're fucking trying to kill each other.
Yeah, just
already.
Shut up.
Physically, what does it matter if they do it mentally? Be respectful.
Yeah, shut the hell up.
Get him out of here. But that was a fun fight though. The card overall was a little, but it was fun. I liked it. I would be kind of upset if I paid for it, but you know.
Oh.
Too soon, Kyle. Too soon.
William Knight, I thought looked really great.
Yeah.
Really dominant wrestling performance by him on the prelims. Thought Brad Riddell looked very good. I thought Diego Sanchez looked not so good, and I think it's probably time for him to retire.
He should have retired a long time ago.
Yeah. And Connor calling him out is like kind of sad.
The weirdest thing I've ever seen. Why?
And then he's leaking messages between him and Dana. And
he was pissed about that.
Now
he's fighting Manny Pacquiao, and I just don't really care about that.
I don't think that's going to happen.
That's I mean, Manny said he wants to donate all the money to the COVID relief fund in his
because Manny is one of the greatest souls to ever grace combat sports.
So like, I want it to happen just because the money would be going obviously towards a good cause and whatnot. Yeah. And I would probably make a lot of money. So.
Oh, it definitely, absolutely would. It would do insane.
I mean, I would
numbers.
Watch it. I probably wouldn't pay for it, but I'd watch it later on. You know.
Yeah. We'd probably be able to find a live stream of it really easily.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Boxing live streams are typically not too. I mean, I remember I was able to watch Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder 2 in really high quality for free, and found it in like fucking 10 seconds. So it's the boxing.
You don't even have to look for them; they find you.
Yeah, they send them, so they slide into your DMs and they're like, "Hey, click this link."
There you go, buddy. That's perfect.
Alright, so just a bunch of porn pop-ups.
So yeah, nothing really cemented on that front with Connor and stuff, but anything
that shit's
but
stupid. I could care less about that. I'm more excited by the people that we're seeing do remarkable things in the sport right now, like Israel Adesanya and Jan Blachowicz. They were the stars for me last night. I mean, I can care less about the Conor McGregor drama. Yeah. I mean, I barely even paying attention to it anymore. I can't be bothered to give a shit. It's
just too much. He always just throws this random shit at the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, after a while, you're just like, all right, well, this is just what you do. You talk a lot, but you don't really do anything.
Yeah.
You haven't fought in 6 centuries. It's like, just... And if you're going to fight, please don't fight Diego Sanchez. That man is not ready for you or anyone in the UFC. He used to be... I mean, he's not a bad fighter. He's way over the hill. Like I was saying, he's over the hill and in the ground at this point. He needs to just stop. Who was the guy doing the war chant during the face-offs that was scaring Dana? Did he win his fight?
I think that was Shane Young, and he did not win. He got brutally knocked out by a guy that missed weight by like 4 pounds or something.
Oh, what a legend.
Yeah.
What a legend. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about. It was kind of a short card considering, the main card wasn't too stacked. It was good. Yeah.
both main and co-main ending in the second round. It was kind of an early night last night.
Yeah, the pacing seemed really off though, because the second fight of the night was happening at like starting at like 11 o'clock. Usually it starts at 10:30, and
Yeah,
I was reading the live the Reddit
I
live
love that
discussions,
shit.
which are fantastic. Let me
So
tell you,
good.
all the memes, and they were all just like, I'm definitely not gonna be able to stay up this late and watch this.
Yeah,
Definitely not.
it was, with the exception of the main and co-main. Well, no, Kai Car France and Brandon
Yeah,
Royval was
that was good.
awesome. The other two fights on the oh my god, they
Like
were
Hadim was good, and but nothing really happened. And
Zubaira, whatever the fuck his name is. He was not particularly exciting.
it just gave up.
The Eubanks fight sucked. Uh, yeah, it was. I think the prelims had some stronger fights.
Yeah,
It's like the Brad Riddell fight.
yeah.
That was
I
really
think
awesome.
Mercedes should have been the main. In
But
the main, not the main event.
yeah.
In the main card.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, Jesus, then there only would have been what just two fights without city kickboxing people on the main card, right? It would have been
Yeah,
Brad
that's a good
Riddell,
point.
Kai Kara France, and Israel, three city kickboxing guys on the
Yeah, you
dude.
got a good
Fucking
point.
busy night for Eugene Behrman last night.
His poor little heart can't take it.
Yeah,
God damn it.
I mean, I they might be the best MMA gym right now. Like,
Yeah, I'm
or
inclined to
they
agree
might
with
be
you.
the gym with the best MMA fighters, I should say, right
The
now.
best, yeah, that produced the best potential as well. I
Yeah,
mean, who
I
knows what
mean,
we're gonna get from them?
you got Israel and Alexander Volkanovski as champions, and then you have all this great up and coming talent like Brad Riddell, for example. Yeah, City Kickboxing is fucking awesome. I think the only gym that comes close is probably well, AKA is up there. I was gonna say Jackson Wink, but AKA and ATT are both pretty great as well. Um, what's that place? What's Mark Montoya's place called? MMA lab.
Masters? No,
No, not Masters.
no.
That's Colby's new
Yeah,
gym.
I'm so bad with keeping up with the gym names.
Yeah,
It runs the.
I
It's
really
tough. Yeah.
I can't either. But
Wait, isn't doesn't John Winklejohn is he the one that coaches Sanchez?
Diego
It's
Sanchez?
it's someone. It's like I thought it was John Jones' old coach.
No, yeah. Jackson Wink is John Jones, Holly Holmes' place.
And Diego Sanchez.
I think he's with. Isn't he with that weird fucking guru guy that is warping his brain and
Okay, maybe
maybe they have a
I am often
homosexual
reading.
relationship?
I'm often reading shit wrong because I also did think that I read the screen and thought it said he was a +4 or a minus whatever 100 favorite.
He had
So
Stephan
yeah,
Bonner in his corner last night. The
yeah, he did.
Forrest Whitaker, UFC, the Ultimate Fighter 1 finale.
Yeah,
That dude. Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. Diego's all over the place.
I feel bad for him,
I do too.
but he's just gonna keep fighting forever.
Probably.
He's never gonna stop.
Probably.
God damn it.
Same with Cowboy.
I kind of agree with that one more because at least Cowboy is somewhat competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Cowboy looked horrific or anything in his last performance.
All right.
Canceled.
This has been caffeinated canceled.
Caffeinated canceled.
We
You know what? Go
what?
ahead.
I have nothing to say. It's just random meme bullshit. So
I was gonna say we should do, instead of caffeinated combat, we should do drunken combat.
drunken combat.
Where
I
we
like that. Day
get-
drink and then talk about UFC.
Get no, I was thinking we do it at night. We do like a card.
Oh,
We do like right after a card or
like some of the
something.
earlier ones, especially. Yeah.
Yeah. We do like right after a card and just get wasted
Oh, you should do that, dude.
and yeah. I don't know. It was just an idea I
That's a
had.
good idea, dude. I like
Drunken
that.
Combat. Let's see what cards we have coming up and where they're at, because where they're at
Yeah.
is gonna if it's Abu
Aren't they
Dhabi
the next
shit.
5 Abu Dhabi?
Ugh, are they really?
I think so. I know they're there for 5 weeks.
God, can't they
Oh,
just
this one starts at 10:30. The next one, Home versus Aldana.
the
Bergen
main
Castro.
starts at 10:30?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
7:30 for the prelims. Wow.
Jesus, why? Dude, it's a big card too. Oh wait, no, it's 5. I thought it was 6 for a minute. Why is it starting so
You fucked it up.
Oh, we're definitely not doing that one. The prelim card is pretty fucking big.
We'll be able to do it eventually. Don't worry.
Flash Forum, is that the Abu Dhabi place? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So then they're doing Marais and Corey Sandhagen. That's a great fight.
Yeah.
Also on Fight Island.
Ben Rothwell.
Yeah, and then we got Ortega and Chen Sun Young. Also on Fight Island.
I can't wait to see that one.
UFC 254, also on Fight Island.
Hey, Jimmy Crute's fighting too on that card.
Which one?
With Brian Ortega and Chan Sung Young.
Ah.
Who the fuck is
Modestas
that guy's name?
Bukakas.
Looks like he just smashed the keyboard. Christostov?
Are you talking about the guy Jimmy
Jotko. Christostov Jocko.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What? How the fuck do you say that?
I think it's Krzysztof Yatko.
Krzysztof.
I think.
Okay, that's much better than.
He's a light heavyweight, isn't he? Or he's a middleweight. He's a Polish guy.
Yeah.
I believe.
Makes sense.
He's been around for a little bit.
And then he's fighting Marudov.
We should just start putting these names into Google Translate, and then it could say it for us. And we could just have the computer be like, Jan Blachowicz.
Hey, we can't sound like we know what we're talking about. We can't get the correct names. We must continue to pronounce them incorrectly. What are you talking about?
Amateur, fucking casual.
Yes.
Detritus.
Volkan Oezdemir is fighting on that card, and he's like the last one on the What? Makes no sense. That's probably just the bout order is not set up yet because it has right now 7 in the main event or the main card category. All right, this has been Drunken Combat, day drinking in the morning.
We gotta drink.
By Modelo.
Yeah, should we get Modelo's?
Yep. This is sponsored by the UFC, baby. That's what we gotta do.
I was thinking either Modelo or Budweiser, so we could be like day drinking Don.
The dude, bro. I love it.
Day drinking Don Cerrone with our Budweiser.
That's beautiful, Kyle. I love it.
Wait, what did Brock say that one time? He was like,
I might get on top of my wife now.
No, not that. He said something like, I'm gonna drink a Coors Light. That's a Coors Light because Bud Light wouldn't pay me nothing.
Yeah, I think got some trouble with that one. He was like under oath by Bud Light.
So we're getting Coors Light, Modelo, and Budweiser. We'll be vomiting our fucking faces off.
We'll take a shot every fight. Okay, that's a bad idea.
That's a horrific idea. You could do that, but I won't.
Dies on the first one. All right. Let's
just sit here silently.
We gotta get this video over 2 hours long. Sorry guys, you gotta chill here with us.
You gotta just sit here.
I'm gonna go take Willie out. I like how Israel sponsored my dog last night. He said shout out to the puppies. Was cool. Good guy. Willow was very happy about that.
I'm gonna stop the recording.
Okay. Thank you everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Or don't. It's all up to you now. Finish the mission.